Hello students. So today we are going to start a new topic which is the basic electronic communication system. So the topic of communication that comes in your entrance examination basically consists of three or four objective type questions that may be asked from this section. The good thing about this section is that most of the questions are mostly theoretical in nature. Very rarely you get questions which are little bit knowledge demanding. Basically, you should have some of the information that we are learning here. So let us start with a basic communication system. So this is the basic block diagram of a basic communication system. First, we have an information source. The information source may be either it's a voice signal, for example, when we are talking through a telephone or a mobile phone, or it may be an image signal. For example, if we are talking about television signals that are going from one uh, point to another point, or it can be digital information. See, all these voice and image are actually digital in nature. So I will write some digital information, like let's say a fax. So it may be some digital information, we don't know. Now signals like voice signal are generally analog signal in nature, and we need to basically either change it into some digital form and then send it forward, or like we used to do in very olden times, or even today in radio, we are basically transmitting the analog signal itself forward. So the voice signal, the image signal, or any kind of digital signal is basically the information source signal which has to be transmitted to a receiver who is sitting very far away. Now, from the information source, we give to a transmitter block. The transmitter block, as you can see here, I have named with a short form TX. TX, basically it is generally used for as a short form of transmitter. And from the transmitter, a very long distance away, there might be a receiver, and in between the transmitter and receiver, the signal is getting transmitted, and that gap is basically called as the channel. So it is the channel which is carrying the signal from the transmitter side to the receiver side, and the receiver, again we are writing it as Rx in the short form, and from the receiver we will get the output signal. So suppose if here there is a caller who is trying to talk to somebody who is sitting at the receiver side, the signal is basically passing through all these blocks to finally reach to the receiver. The signal can be of any of these form. Now we will see what a transmitter and a receiver is, but broadly we can say that a transmitter and a receiver is basically decided by what the channel is. For example, the channel can be a two-wire line, just like in the case of a landline phone connection. So I will write here landline, or it can be even a coaxial cable. Coaxial cable is a cable in which it's a round in shape, and there is a central copper wire and surrounded by ground wires. So when I say that it is coaxial cable, it means that there is a cable like this. You might have seen this coaxial cable in your cable TV. So it can be a coaxial cable, or it can be a wireless medium, a wireless channel. What is the example of a wireless channel is basically your Bluetooth. It can be Bluetooth, or it can be even mobile phone. So all of this come in the category of wireless, or it can be even a, what do you say, satellite channel. So in satellite channel we have a, again it's wireless in nature, it is wireless in nature, but here you are going to use a satellite which is there in the outer atmosphere, or in the upper layers of the atmosphere, or even outside in the free space. So satellite communication, I will basically call it as free space. Or it can be optical fiber, and optical fiber is the one that is used in large quantities nowadays, optical fiber. So basically your internet can be based on that. So generally the channels may be any of these. Now there are many other which I am not going to write here because the list is will keep on expanding. But basically I can define the channel as three basic types, or two basic types. The one is wired channel. So let me write that these are the wired channel. Wired means that the channel consists of a physical wire that connects the transmitter and the receiver. So you are having a set of, you know, wires which basically they connect between the transmitter and the receiver. Even optical fiber is also a wired channel, but optical fiber does not use current, it uses light. So it's in a slightly different category, but still we will call it as a wired channel. Whereas satellite and other wireless mediums like Bluetooth, mobile phones, are all basically coming in the category of wireless channel. And based on the channel being either wired or wireless, the transmitter and the receiver will be decided. So this is the basic communication system. From here, next let us look at what is a transmitter. So we will go for the first one, which is a transmitter. So what is basically a transmitter? A transmitter is basically an electronic circuit or a group of electronic circuits which take the information signal and convert it so that it can be passed through the channel. So what are the basic blocks in it? The basic blocks, first the information will pass through something that is called as a transducer. What is a transducer? A transducer is basically something that converts one form of energy into another form of energy. What do we mean by that? See, your information will be a voice signal. That voice signal has to convert into an electric signal. So what do we use here? We use maybe a mic. So a mic is an example of a transducer. Now suppose the signal that you want to send is a live video or a live image. So how do you capture an image and convert it into an electrical signal? With the help of a camera. So like that, any device which converts one form of energy, whether it be voice energy or whether it be light energy, to an electrical energy is basically called as a transducer. So a transducer converts your information into electric form. So let me write that here. Converts information into electrical signal. Once the transducer converts it into an electrical signal, the next important part is a modulator. What is a modulator? A modulator is a very important part in a transmitter which basically changes the frequency in which the transmitter is sending the signal. See, most of these signals, whether it be image, whether it be voice, all of these are called as a baseband signal. Baseband signals. They are called as baseband signals because their frequency is very low. If the frequency of the signal is very low, there are three reasons or three things that we have to take care when we are trying to transmit the signal from very far away to a receiver which is at certain point. So if the transmitter and the receiver are very far away, there are three things that we have to take care. The first thing that we have to take care is that if the signal has to travel this far, then we have to convert it into electrical form because a voice cannot travel that far. So when we convert it into electrical form, there is an antenna which is there in the transmitter side and there is a antenna which is there in the receiver side. So these antennas send the signal as well as catch the signal. The size of this antenna depends on the frequency of the signal. So if the frequency is very small, the antenna has to become very large. The antenna has to become very large. So one thing that we have to take care is that the antennas have to be small. The antennas should be small. Because if the antennas are small, then only you will be able to keep a mobile in your phone. Just imagine if we are going to have an antenna in your pocket, an antenna which is required to have a size of, let's say, 1 meter or 10 meters, how can you keep it in your pocket? So the antenna should be small, and the size of the antenna directly depends on the wavelength. And the wavelength, if suppose it is lambda, then the antenna size is somewhat having the dimension or size of lambda by 4. That is the reason why we have mobile communication operating in gigahertz, because when you are having frequency in gigahertz, you basically have wavelength which is in terms of centimeter. How do we calculate that? This is one area where a question in your entrance exam mostly comes. See, always remember the relation that frequency into wavelength of any wave will be equal to the speed of that wave. Frequency multiplied with wavelength will be the speed of that wave. When we are talking about an electromagnetic wave, then that electromagnetic wave will have a speed which is the speed of light, which we all know is 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meters per second. So if we want to calculate what is the wavelength, all we have to do is the speed of light divided by the frequency of that particular wave. So electromagnetic waves, they travel at the speed of light. So that is how you basically find out the wavelength. See, if it's a voice, like if it's a sound wave, then obviously the speed of the wave will be the speed of the sound. But here in all the communication, electronic communication, the wave that we are using is electromagnetic wave, whether it is passing through wireless medium, whether it is passing through a wired medium, or even if we are talking about the light waves that pass through an optical fiber, all of these are electromagnetic wave which will have a speed of 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meters per second. So if you want to find out the wavelength is basically C divided by frequency. So if suppose I am having a mobile phone which is having a frequency of 2 gigahertz, 2 gigahertz is 2 into 10 raised to power 9 hertz. So you can very easily calculate and see that the wavelength will be 3 into 10 raised to power 8 divided by frequency, which is 2 into 10 raised to power 9, which will be almost 3 by 2 into 10 raised to power minus 1, which is 0.15 meters. 0.15 meters means it is 15 centimeter. Therefore, if I am going to have an antenna which is approximately the size of lambda by 4, you can imagine that I should have an antenna which is 15 centimeter divided by 4, which will almost come as something close to 3.8 or 3.9 centimeters. So this is the size of an antenna inside your mobile phone. That is why you are able to keep it in your phone, in your pocket. That's why the mobile phone is very small. If you would look into a wireless that is used by the police department, you can see that it's a set which has an elongated antenna coming out. Why is that? Because the frequency is in megahertz, and that is the size of the antenna. So the first thing that we have to take care, as I have written here very correctly, that the antennas should be small. And if we take care of that, if we want to take care of that, then our signal should be in this high frequency of either gigahertz or megahertz. Is our signal basically of that range? No. For example, if you would look into the voice signal, the human voice basically goes from 300 hertz to somewhere around 3 kilohertz. 3 kilohertz means 3000 hertz. In certain textbooks, it is also written 3100 hertz. That means 3.1 kilohertz. Now, this is the human voice. But which all frequencies can we hear? We can hear the sound that is coming out of musical instruments and all, isn't it? So, generally, the sound that we are talking about that people can hear is basically from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. So generally most of the information is basically in this range. Now you can see that this is kilohertz. If I am going to take the size of the antenna, you can calculate using the formula that I just now told you, lambda is equal to speed of light divided by the frequency. You will see that the size of the antenna basically comes in kilometers. That means for this signal to be heard, you will be requiring an antenna which is in the size of meters or even kilometers. So that is not basically possible. So the reason why we basically have a modulator is to take our signal which is in a low frequency to a high frequency, to a frequency which is high, to a high frequency. Let me write it very clearly. We take a modulator, we basically take our signal which is in a low frequency to a frequency which is high frequency. That's why the sound signal which is in the 3 kilohertz range is basically taken into 3 or 2 gigahertz range when we are talking about mobile communication. So that is basically what a modulator does. But these are not the only reasons. I told you this is just one of the reason. The second reason is that of bandwidth. Now you might have heard that a radio is basically having a channel number. For example, Radio Mangalam 91.2. So 91.2 is basically the frequency in which the radio signal Radio Mango is not Radio Mango, Radio Mangalam is basically heard. So that is a so there is a bandwidth in which each and every signal is there. See, when you are sitting with your friend gets a call and you get a call, but both of your calls are not mixed with each other. Why? Because his signal, the signal that is there for him, comes in a different frequency range, and the one that is coming to you is in a different frequency range. But both are human signals or human voice signals, and human voice is basically from 3 to 3 kilohertz, 300 hertz to 3 kilohertz. Then how is it that they are not getting mixed? They are not getting mixed because one is put at a frequency, let's say in some 2.38 gigahertz, and the other frequency is put at, let's say, 2.39 gigahertz. 2.39 gigahertz. So both of your signals are kept at two different carrier frequencies. So another reason why we have the modulator here is to take different signals into different bandwidths. That is the second reason. And the third reason why we have a modulator, which is not very something that is required, but it's actually a boon. And the third reason why what we should take care of is that there should be lot of bandwidth. There should be lot of bandwidth available. See, as you go up and up in frequency, the number of bandwidths available is very large. That's why we started with radio, but we went to optical fiber, because in optical fiber the bandwidth is very large. That's why the internet or your cable TV is presently trying to go into the optical fiber. It has already gone into optical fiber because it can carry huge bandwidth. So these are the three reasons why we have something that is called as modulation in a modulator. So after the modulator, in the end we have something that is called as a transmitter. Now the transmitter is not transmitter, we have something that is called as an amplifier. Let's write this. I will write it in short. That is an amplifier. What is the need for an amplifier? The need for an amplifier is that when we are making the signal travel very far away, as it travels forward, the signal will lose its strength. For example, if suppose I am having a signal which is this much, after it has traveled almost 2 kilometers, the signal will have undergone attenuation and its size would have gone down. So you can see here the size is big, but here the size or the amplitude is small, and that is basically called as attenuation. And the attenuation is one of the problems which basically restricts the distance between two people who want to communicate. So to take care of attenuation, what we do is we take the signal and we try to amplify it. That means we try to make it so big so that after traveling 2 kilometers it is attenuated, but it is not that much attenuated. So amplifier basically amplifies the signal. And finally, we send it through a channel through either an antenna. If it's a wireless channel, we will send it through an antenna. I will draw the antenna like this. Either we will send it through an antenna, or if it's an optical fiber, we will send it through an LED. We will send it through an LED lamp. But whatever is the signal, that we will send it through a LED bulb or an LED lamp. It's very small. Or if we are talking about wired connection, there is nothing, we will simply connect a wire. So based on the channel, this is what we will have. So basically, if you are talking about any transmitter, every transmitter will have these four things: a transducer, a modulator, an amplifier, and an antenna or a LED. Now if we are talking about at the receiver side, we will have what is called as a receiver, which I have already talked about. Now let's see what happens inside a receiver. See, the signal that is coming basically first enters the receiver through an antenna. So let me draw an antenna. So this is the receiver antenna. And from this receiver antenna, the signal will be first taken inside a block that we will call it as demodulator. So as you can see the name, a demodulator is basically an opposite of a modulator. So it basically takes a high frequency signal and brings it down to a low frequency signal. And then that signal is forwarded. So whatever signal we are having, the next step that we do is we basically amplify it, because after traveling for such long distance, the signal might have lost its strength. So we will amplify it. So the next step is amplifier. And finally, as we had done here, to convert the information signal that is in voice to an electrical signal, similarly here we will take the electrical signal and we will bring it back into a original signal. So this is basically a transducer again. So, and this transducer takes the signal, the electrical signal from the amplifier, and converts it back into the physical signal. Either in a voice signal, this will be basically a speaker. In the case of image, it might be a TV screen or a computer screen or anything like that. So that is basically the receiver, and here we get the output signal. So this is basically what is happening inside a receiver, and that's how basically a basic communication system works. Now before I finish, there is one more element that is there in this basic communication system, but that is not given here because generally people don't talk about it in the basic. So if suppose you are having a transmitter here and you are having a receiver here, and suppose the distance is very far away, so the signal that is going to go from here, from the transmitter side, if it has to reach the receiver, it becomes very small. So in between, the signal has to be again amplified and again cleaned, so that it can again travel a long distance forward. For that we have what is something called as a repeater in between. So if suppose you are having a repeater in between, what a repeater does is it takes the signal. It basically, if you go inside a repeater will basically within inside it, it will have the same elements. It will have the same elements. That means it will first have a receiver block and it will have a transmitter block, and in between there will be an amplifier block. So what it does, it basically, suppose this distance is suppose 100 kilometer, but the signal, if it travels from here to here, it will become very bleak. So we keep a repeater in between. So what happens is the repeater may be like say after 1 kilometer. So you will have hundreds of repeater kept in between, and between each repeater there will be a spacing of 1 kilometer. So the signal that is coming from a transmitter will enter a repeater, that means enter a receiver. It will get the sound signal back, or it will not go for the transducer. It will basically go through the antenna. It will receive the signal, it will amplify it, and again through a transmitter it will retransmit the signal. So that is basically what a repeater does. Actually, the satellite itself is a kind of a repeater. So when you are having a ground station, let's say if you are having a ground station is somewhere in, let's say in India, and a receiver station is somewhere in the, let's say in US, and this is India, then we are having a huge antenna at the transmitter side, and similarly at the receiver side also there is a huge antenna, but these two antennas are not able to see each other. Why? Because they are very far away, so the signal can't reach. So in between we will have what is called as a repeater, which is basically a satellite, which is there high up in the outer space. So the signal that is coming from India will reach the satellite. The satellite will basically have a receiving antenna, it will have an amplifier, it will then again transmit it out from the transmitter antenna, and it will basically reach the station in the United States. So basically it does what is called as the relaying of the signal. It basically does what is called as the relaying of the signal, and which is basically a kind of a repeater itself. So repeater is also one of the important parts of a basic communication system. Next, let us look at some of the problems that have been asked in entrance examinations. This question from KEAM 2015. Identify the mismatch pair. Noise, yes, it is an unwanted signal. The repeater, I told you repeater is basically to repeat the same signal forward, and a communication satellite is basically a kind of a repeater, so it is correct. Transducer is an energy converter which converts one form of energy into an electrical energy, or an electrical energy to any form of energy. So basically yes, it's a energy converter, so this is also correct. Demodulation is again retrieval of the information. Whatever we have changed in the modulation, we are basically getting it back when we do the demodulation. So let me again clarify that. So whatever is happening in the modulator, which is basically we take the frequency from low frequency to high frequency. And why do we do that? We do that because we have to send the signal to a long distance. You should not forget that. If you remember, I had very clearly said that all this is done basically to take the signal to a very large distance. But what is happening inside that? A frequency change is taking place. Okay, so that is modulator. And the demodulator, we are having in a modulator a signal which is converted. In demodulator, the signal is got back, and that is what we are having here. Retrieval of the information is basically the demodulation. Last is attenuation. Attenuation, we know, is basically the size of the signal is reduced, and here you can see that instead of that it is written strengthening of the signal, which is actually totally wrong. What is strengthening of the signal? Strengthening of the signal is basically amplify, which is done using an amplifier. So an amplifier is not an attenuator. Attenuation or attenuator is something that reduces the strength of the signal. So here the correct answer for this one would be attenuation is the mismatched pair. Next, let us look at another. The range of communication system can be extended by modulator. Yes, we basically use a modulator for increasing the distance between the transmitter and the receiver. Transmitter, no, because transmitter is basically not a, it's just one of the components of the communication system. It is not basically for extending, it is basically for transmitting. Demodulation, again no, because demodulator basically demodulates the signal for getting the original signal back. So in a way modulator is also not correct, because modulator is for changing the signal to transmit it. So the range of communication system, that means what increases the distance between a transmitter and a receiver. If we are talking about a transmitter and a receiver, what is it that will increase the distance between these two? The receiver is similar like transmitter, it can't be, because its role is just to receive the signal. What about a repeater? A repeater can actually increase the range of communication, because by placing many repeaters in between, you can have the distance between the transmitter and receiver kept on increasing. This is what actually happens in telephone communication. The landline communication that you see, basically every 200 meters every 200 meter there is a repeater. So the signal that goes from your landline phone, after 200 meters there will be a repeater, and from there again after 200 meters there will be a repeater. Like that, slowly it will reach the exchange. So basically what increases the range of communication is a repeater. The commercial telephonic communication, the frequency range for speech. We all know that the frequency range for speech is 300 Hertz to 3.1 kilohertz or 3100 Hertz. And that option is exactly here. So it's quite simple. The other one, the speech signal is in the range, again it is KEEM 2017. So you can see KEEM 2016 also they asked this question, KEEM 2017 also they have asked this question. So you can see that this is a repeated question. Again, it's a very simple answer, that the voice signal or the speech signal is the same as voice signal or human sound. Okay, so that is basically from 300 to 3100 Hertz frequency. The frequency that you see here, that is basically the frequency in which all the instruments, everything will have. That means your ears can basically pick up sound that is anywhere between 20 Hertz to 20 kilohertz. As you grow old, this range will keep on reducing. Anyway, let's look at the next question. The wavelength of a wave with 30 megahertz frequency. We already told you the simple equation is frequency into lambda is the speed of light. So here they have asked for what is lambda. So lambda is equal to 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meters per second divided by frequency. Frequency they have given here is 30 megahertz. So 30 megahertz, it's 30 into 10 raised to power 6 hertz. Hertz is similar to, hertz is same as 1 by second. Okay, so anyway, from here we will get lambda as, so this and 30 will go, so this is going to be 10, so this is going to be 10 raised to power 7, so you will have basically 10 meters. So let us see, if there is 10 meters, this is centimeter, everything is centimeter, so let us convert this meter into centimeter. We have to multiply with 100, so 10 meter is same as 1000 centimeter. The answer will be D. See, it can be the other way around also. They will give you the wavelength and ask you to find out what is the frequency. So all you have to do is, the frequency will be equal to speed of light divided by lambda. But twist can come in that way also. Let us look at the next question. The last question. For signal transmission, modulation is necessary to reduce the signal distortion of the signal? No, modulation is not for that. To modify the frequency content of the signal? Yes, that is a choice. But when you get something, you should not all of a sudden say that okay, that will be the answer. You look at all the options. Okay, to mask the signal information from enemy? No, that is not modulation, that is basically cryptography and all. So it is not basically that. Modulation is necessary to radiate the signal to a large distance using antennas? Yes, that is also a option. The last one is to make it easy to amplify the signal. This should be E. To make it easy to amplify the signal. That means if you want to amplify the signal, you require an amplifier, not a modulator. So this is also not correct. Now, out of these two options, which one should you choose? See, basically a modulator basically what it does is, it takes the frequency which is low frequency signal, it takes it to a high frequency signal. That is what a modulator does. But why do we do that? We do that, or the necessary of modulation is not to basically change the frequency, because to change the frequency we have something that is called as frequency up converter. Frequency up converter, which basically takes it to a higher frequency. The design is similar to a modulator, but basically it's called as a frequency up converter. A frequency up converter basically modifies the frequency content of the signal. But the need for modulation, or the reason why modulation is necessary, is basically that the signal has to travel large distance. So to radiate the signal to a large distance using antennas, that should be the right choice. So as you can see, every year almost they have asked a question from this much portion that I have taught. In the whole communication, there are many topics that I will take in front. So in all the communication, totally in the entrance examination, you may get 3 to 4 questions. And as you know, that 3 to 4 questions are very important if you want to clear the entrance examination. Thank you very much.